Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. I'm Fuzz, and today I have another installment of Iconic Years in Film. This is a series where I offer a top 10 list of my personal favorite films from a specific year or two in film history that I either felt was like especially impactful or pivotal or relevant somehow, or otherwise just a really good year for movies, as is the case with the subject of today's video. Today I'm focusing on the year 1994, and I got the idea for this video from a viewer named Darren G, who recently suggested that 1994 was a really good year for movies that I might want to consider for this video. So I was pretty intrigued by this idea, and I was doing a little research on it the other night and taking a look at all the movies that came out that year, and I was like, damn, this really was a good year for movies. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call this like a groundbreaking year in film history, right? It's not like we set a whole bunch of new standards or anything in 1994. But it was just a killer year for movies, and we got a lot of fun, kick-ass films in 1994. So I had a lot of fun putting this video together, and after researching it a bit, I decided to go ahead and bump this video to the front of the line among the videos that I was planning on doing next. Now, Fuzz Club members actually got a sneak peek at some of the videos I'm working on next, kind of a channel content preview in a rather lengthy video that I posted last week. It was an exclusive members-only video, and if that sounds like a video that you'd like to be able to check out, consider becoming a Fuzz Club member. You can find out more about it by clicking on the link in the description below or just clicking that join button. All right, so I've got a top 10 list of my personal favorite films from the year 1994. So without any further ado, let's rock this. All right, so let's just get to it here. Starting off at number 10, we've got a Jean-Claude Van Damme film, Time Cop. Such a fun action film, kind of a futuristic time-traveling action film. Directed by Peter Hyams, who I love, a great director who also directed Sudden Death and Enemies Closer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm actually really looking forward to the 4K release of this. Who are we getting this from? Scream Factory? I think it's Scream Factory or Shout Studios that is releasing this on 4K, if I remember correctly. And it's coming in about a month from now. So I definitely have it pre-ordered. It was one of the big ones for me, one that I think was long overdue for 4K release among Van Damme films here, right? Of course, I've got this handy little double feature here. I have no use for Bloodsport anymore because I have it on 4K. So I'm just waiting to be able to ditch this Blu-ray once I get the new 4K of Time Cop in my hot little hands. So, but yeah, this is a lot of fun. Just a great film. And one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme films, one of his better ones, as far as I'm concerned anyway. I mean, he's got 3 or 4 that I really like that kind of rank near the top, but Time Cop is definitely one of them. So yeah, Time Cop. All right, next up for my number 9 is a great little Kino Lorber 4K here. Jeff Bridges, Tommy Lee Jones in Blown Away. Also Forrest Whitaker in this film. This is a great little 4K release, a decent looking 4K from Kino Lorber. But I used to watch this film all the time back in the 90s. This is one that I feel like this played on cable TV quite a bit, so I would stumble across it quite a bit. But this is a fun action movie. It's about like a bomb squad, right? I think in Boston, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's about basically explosives experts. You got a bad guy out there using bombs, incendiary devices as his primary means of terrorizing, and you got some cops who are explosives experts, if I can get my mouth to work right, who are trying to stop him. So it's a great film and a really great performance from Forrest Whitaker in this. His character is cocky as hell in this movie, but he's a lot of fun to watch. I always love Forrest Whitaker. He's an excellent actor. In fact, I like Forrest Whitaker more than I like Jeff Bridges, if I'm being honest. But I like Jeff Bridges too. Nothing against him. So, but yeah, this is just a fun film. If you've never seen it, it's one I would definitely recommend from 1994. So yeah, Blown Away on 4K from Kino Lorber. Okay, and next up for my number 8, we have a movie here that I just picked up on 4K because I was making this video. I was inspired to purchase this on 4K. I have the Blu-ray of this, and then I was putting this video together and putting this list together, and I was like, why don't I have this on 4K yet? So I immediately bought it and ended up just watching this the other night. Leon the Professional. Great, great film directed by Luc Besson and starring Jean Reno, Natalie Portman, and Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is awesome in this. He does such a good job with the role. He's a real bad guy, right? Real sinister guy, and he pulls it off so well. I mean, Gary Oldman, when isn't he good in anything he does? I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and I think one of the most diverse actors out there. I'm pretty sure there's no role that he can't play perfectly convincingly, right? Gary Oldman's awesome. Just love Gary Oldman, but this performance is up there near the top as one of my favorite performances from him. He's got so many, but this is definitely among them. He's awesome in this film, and just really sinister, but he pulls it off so well. So yeah, I had fun rewatching this the other night. You know, I picked up the 4K because I wanted to get the 4K here in time to be able to do this video. And I wanted to watch it again. I was, putting this list together. I hadn't seen this for a few years. I was like, I really want to see that again, especially in 4K. And I thought the 4K looked great. It was a solid looking 4K. Certainly no complaints about this 4K at all for those of you who don't own it. But and it does include both the theatrical and the extended cut, which I think the extended cut's quite a bit longer. It's like 25 minutes longer, I think. Maybe 20, 25 minutes longer, maybe even a little bit more. But it's significantly longer, and I love that they included both versions on 4K for this release. So yeah, awesome film from Luc Besson, Leon the Professional. All right, and moving right along here to my number 7, we've got a title that I feel like I've mentioned this a lot of times on the channel, but it just keeps coming up in all these different list videos that I do. No Escape, a Martin Campbell film, directed by Martin Campbell, starring Ray Liotta and Lance Hendrickson. And this is on 4K from Turbine Media. I've got this 4K media book here. You can't get this media book anymore. It's out of print now. They had like 3 different media book designs for this, but it's now out of print. You can still get a standard edition on 4K of this movie, and I'll put a link in the description below because it might be kind of hard to find otherwise. But Turbine Media, great little German boutique. They put out some great releases, and they do really good work there. And this one is no exception. If you are a fan of this film, the only way you can get it on 4K is through Turbine Media. We never got a 4K release here in the US. We did get a Blu-ray released from a boutique called Unearthed Films, which I think the scan for this was the same as the Unearthed Films scan. I believe they use the same scan. But of course, I had to go with the 4K release, right? Because I'm just such a big fan of this film. But anyway, fun little sci-fi action film. It's a prison colony film. The sci-fi component, the futuristic component, is a little bit outdated now since it takes place in the future of 2022. But that kind of thing is to be expected for sci-fi action films of this vintage, 1994. I've always considered this to be kind of like a B movie, right? But it's a really good B movie. It's a really well done for what it is. And this is, it's a comfort film for me. It's one I can watch over and over again, and I never seem to get tired of it. I used to watch it all the time back in the 90s. So yeah, just absolutely love this film. So yeah, No Escape. Another awesome film from 1994 for my number 6 is Stallone in The Specialist, which I have in this Stallone multi-film pack here. I think I got about 5 films in here. Not talking about Cobra, of course. Talking about The Specialist. This is a movie I saw in the theater at the time, and always really liked this one, especially James Woods' performance. James Woods is kind of the antagonist or one of the kind of the bad guys, right? But he just chews up the scenery in this film. He almost upstages Stallone in this one. It's one of my favorite James Woods performances in any movie he's ever done. He's awesome in this, and it's about explosives experts again here. Stallone and James Woods in this are all about the explosives, and they each have the technical expertise to wreak a lot of havoc. So yeah, just a fun film with some cool explosions. You also got Sharon Stone in this one as well. So really pretty solid cast in this one. Also Rod Steiger in this one too. So yeah, very solid cast in this one, but yeah, just love this one. And I'd love to see The Specialist actually get a 4K release at some point. I mean, we've been getting all these other Stallone films on 4K. You would think we might eventually get The Specialist as well. So, and if we do, it's going to be a day one purchase for me because, yeah, I just love The Specialist. So, yeah, for my number 6, The Specialist. By the way, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, do me a favor and please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, don't forget to activate that notification bell as well so you can be alerted whenever I'm posting videos that you might dig. Also, don't forget to like the video as well. It really does help with the algorithm and the channel's visibility on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. All right, and for my number 5, we've got an awesome prison film here. In fact, arguably one of the best prison films ever made. Of course, I'm talking about Shawshank Redemption. Fantastic looking 4K, by the way. If you are a fan of this film and you don't already own it on 4K, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick this up because this is damn near reference quality on 4K. It actually surprised me that it looks as good as it actually does. I was not expecting that, but before I picked it up on 4K, I heard others talking about it, other collectors talking about it. I was like, really? That's a good 4K, huh? And they're like, yeah, check it out. And I did, and I was pretty blown away. It is stunning on 4K. Absolutely stunning. You get so much great detail, so much depth, so much pop to the image. It'll blow your mind how good this looks on the format. So an absolute must-own on the format for anyone who is a fan of this film. But other than that, I mean, what can you say about Shawshank? Another one I saw in the theater that year. I think I went to a lot of movies that year. I think I saw most of these. I think I saw in the theater. Maybe not all of them, but most of these I think I saw in the theater that year. I used to be much more of a moviegoer back then than I am now, at least in terms of actually getting out to theaters. So, of course, you got a great cast here too. The legendary Morgan Freeman. You also got Tim Robbins here and some other great people in this as well. And I do believe this is one of the greatest prison movies we've ever seen. So if you don't own this on 4K, yeah, you should get this one. This looks amazing on 4K. And of course, it's a classic, right? I mean, what can you really say about Shawshank Redemption? An absolute classic. So yeah, for my number 5, Shawshank Redemption. Okay, and moving right along here to my number 4, we've got a great sci-fi film here, Contact. Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey, and who else is in this? We got a lot of good people in this, like Rob Lowe was in this, and William Fichtner is in this, and Tom Skerritt. I mean, there's a ton of people in this. Jake Busey's in this. So really great film. Another one I saw in the theater when it first came out, and this was pretty mind-blowing at the time. This made a pretty big impact. It was real popular at the time, I remember it. Or at least I seem to remember it being very popular. You know, we all went and saw it in the theater, and we were all talking about it. And so, yeah, it was good stuff. So, yeah, I still love returning to this one. I would love to see us get a 4K release of this, even though I know some of the visual effects won't, like, maybe translate to 4K as well. I still want to get this on 4K because this is just a great film, and it's too good of a film not to have a 4K release. So I do hope that we will see that at some point in the not too distant future. So yeah, awesome film, Contact. For my number 3, I've got to give it up for James Cameron and True Lies on 4K here. We just got this last year on 4K and Blu-ray for the first time. This was one of those interesting releases that was highly sought after for many, many years on physical media. It was only available on Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, DVD. It was only available on DVD up until last year. It never even got a Blu-ray release. So when we finally got this on both Blu-ray and 4K in one release, it was pretty exciting for a lot of us. Now, I know a lot of people had problems with the way this restoration was done. It does look a little over-processed in a few areas, and so there's a few things that look kind of weird here and there. But I still maintain it's the best this film has ever looked on home media, and it's the best we could probably hope for this film. It's probably the best it's ever going to look. So, I mean, your choice is to watch this or watch some, old shitty DVD. Now, I don't want the old shitty DVD. I definitely prefer the 4K release. So anyway, I'm glad we finally got this last year on 4K. It was definitely long overdue, but just a banger of an action film from James Cameron, right? I mean, this is how you do action. And I've always wanted James Cameron to get back to something like this. I always kind of hoped that he would go back and do another kind of action film set on Earth kind of thing, not some sci-fi thing on Pandora or whatever, but an actual, just a straight up action film set on Earth. It could even have a sci-fi component, but just set on Earth. This is kind of a unique entry in James Cameron's catalog, right? It's really the only film that he ever did that was like this. Everything else had some sort of sci-fi component or had, other components to it. This is really the only straightforward action film I think we ever got from James Cameron, and he pulled it off. I mean, it was an awesome film. Some of the practical effects in this, just awesome. So yeah, I don't know what else I can really say about this. True Lies on 4K for my number 3. All right, and for my number 2, this probably won't surprise anyone that this film is this high on a list like this. Talking about Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction for my number 2. I know this is going to be number 1 for a lot of people out there, but it's number 2 for me. And I'll probably get some shit for that, as you'll find out here in a moment when I get to my number 1. But yeah, just what can you say about this? This is, by the way, a reference quality 4K release. Looks absolutely stunning on 4K. All the Tarantino films have been fantastic on 4K. They've all been excellent 4K presentations. And this was definitely no exception. I don't know how much I can really say about Pulp Fiction. This has become such a classic. We all know what this is, right? Yeah, it's just one of the greatest films that came out that year. This actually is the one exception where, when I said earlier that I didn't think that 1994 was a particularly groundbreaking year, Quentin Tarantino really kind of exploded onto the scene. So that was a pretty big deal in terms of changing the landscape of film. I think it's fair to say Quentin Tarantino made quite the splash with this movie. I mean, of course, he'd done Reservoir Dogs before that, but Pulp Fiction is really what put him on the map as a serious force to be reckoned with in the filmmaking community. So yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, I love it. Pulp Fiction. All right, and for my number 1 film from 1994, this is pure nostalgia for me. This is pure nostalgia, and you're probably wondering how this could be placed above Pulp Fiction, but I love Speed. Absolutely love this one. Saw it in the theater when it first came out, as I've mentioned previously on the channel. I've mentioned this one quite a few times on the channel. Absolutely love this film. Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Hopper, who in one of his best roles, I think he's one of the best bad guys ever in a film like this, in an action film like this. And this film it made a big impact on me back then, just in terms of the nostalgia factor. I would watch this film over and over again back in the 90s. And, of course, this was also the film that was the first time I'd ever seen Sandra Bullock in anything. I'd never heard of her before this. So as I mentioned before, I had kind of a crush on her at the time, as so many of us did. But yeah, such an awesome, just a blast of a ride, this film. And yeah, you can't go wrong with something like this. I know a lot of you are wondering how I could put a cheesy action film like this above or ahead of Pulp Fiction, something like a Quentin Tarantino film, because I'm me, and that's how I feel, right? This is like the big standout film of the year. When I think of 1994, a lot of times this is the first film that comes to mind for me. But of course, they're all good. All my films in my top 10 are all awesome films from this year. But this one, highly rewatchable. It's a comfort movie for me. And I return to this at least once a year. So yeah, for my number one, Speed. All right, so that covers my my top 10 list from 1994. But of course, as always, I do have a few quick honorable mentions here. Just 4 honorable mentions here today. The first one is a movie that I couldn't quite find room for on this list, but I do love it. I'm talking about The River Wild, starring Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon. David Strathairn is also in that. Awesome film I used to watch all the time back in the 90s. Really good acting performances, of course, from Meryl Streep, as you'd expect, but Kevin Bacon's good in it as well. This is I guess it's fair to say this is like a kind of a kidnapping, like hostage type movie in a way. Basically, Kevin Bacon's character leads a band of like bad guys that just did something, like they robbed a bank or something. I can't remember what they robbed. They robbed something, and they're trying to make their getaway, and this family is out river rafting on a family trip, and they kidnap this family to kind of help them get away. And I'll just leave it at that. And I actually haven't seen the movie for many years, but I used to watch it all the time when I was younger, back in the 90s and early 2000s. And we just found out recently that this is actually going to be coming to 4K at some point. And I've never purchased this, never added this to my collection. I've been meaning to pick up the Blu-ray for quite some time, for like several years now. I keep meaning to pick up the Blu-ray for this film, but have just never gotten around to it. And now I'm glad that I didn't, because now it's coming out on 4K, and with all the natural locations in this movie, I can only imagine how awesome it's going to look. You know, all the river rafting and the nature locations. It's going to look amazing in 4K. So we don't know when exactly that's coming out yet. I believe that's a Kino Lorber title, and it's under their kind of coming soon label, which means it could be a year before we see it. But there's no need for me to pick it up on Blu-ray now. I'm just going to wait out for that 4K release. So yeah, awesome film, The River Wild. Then another honorable mention from that year, Roland Emmerich's Stargate, James Spader, Kurt Russell. Another one I saw in the theater back when it first came out, and loved it. I seem to remember this had actually quite a bit of hype surrounding it. I can remember watching the trailers for this movie, and we were all like, oh, we got to go see that, you know? And so we did. And we liked it at the time. So fun movie. This has got it's got a good rewatch factor to it. You know, this is one I used to watch quite a bit back in the 90s and return to quite a bit. And so this is one I haven't watched it for a while now, but and we might even be getting a 4K release of this. I think I saw somewhere that there might be a 4K release of this in the works. So that's possible, but I bought this copy used a few years ago from eBay or something like that, which is why it's still got stickers and goo on it and stuff, which I never bothered to clean off. But I guess I should be happy I've got a slipcover at all at this point for the 15th anniversary. But yeah, cool film, Stargate. And then also I'm a big fan of the Jack Ryan movie, Harrison Ford, Clear and Present Danger. Of the 2 Harrison Ford movies, this is my favorite. I always like this one more than Patriot Games. This is the one that I tend to rewatch more often than Patriot Games. I think it's just got a higher rewatch value for me. But I've always enjoyed this. Just picked it up on 4K not that long ago, and it looks great on 4K. I've had the Blu-ray for years in the Jack Ryan collection, but just recently started upgrading my Jack Ryan films, or at least some of them, to 4K. And so I had picked this up not too long ago. So yeah, great film, Clear and Present Danger. I mean, I think Hunt for Red October is the best Jack Ryan film, but as far as anyone portraying Jack Ryan, I think Harrison Ford did the best job out of everyone we've seen so far. So yeah, good stuff. You gotta love Clear and Present Danger. And then my last honorable mention is a film that I actually haven't watched for a long time, many, many years, but this film made an impact on me at the time. I have a lot of respect for this film, but it's not the kind of film I can rewatch very often. And I'm talking about Natural Born Killers, Really well done film. Just some really cool artsy stuff that Oliver Stone does in this movie. Of course, I have it on a double feature here with True Romance. In fact, the reason I bought this Blu-ray, and I've had this Blu-ray for many years. In fact, I think this is one of the last Blu-rays I bought before I stopped collecting for like 8 years and went on hiatus, right? So I've had this for like many years now, like 12, 13 years, something like that. And the funny thing is, in all that time, I've never watched Natural Born Killers. I've never watched like the disc. Of course, I saw the movie back in the 90s and I watched it a few times back in the 90s, but I've never watched my copy of it since I've owned it. And it has since come out on 4K. Right? I mean, at the time I bought this for True Romance because I was trying to complete my Tony Scott collection, right? But of course, I've since upgraded to 4K with True Romance. I never upgraded to 4K with Natural Born Killers. I didn't think I was that interested in having it on 4K. I didn't know that I needed it on 4K. Now, if you happen to have picked up Natural Born Killers on 4K, I would love to hear your thoughts on the restoration. Is it any good? Is it worth upgrading to 4K? I could see how it might be worth upgrading. I just wasn't sure if I personally really needed it on 4K having this Blu-ray, right? And knowing that there aren't probably that many times I'm going to rewatch the film. But it's not because it's not a good film. It's just the kind of film it is. But it's really well done and a lot of really good social commentary in this film. So yeah, for my last honorable mention, Natural Born Killers. Okay, so that about wraps it up for my top 10 favorite movies from 1994. Let me know what you think of my choices in the comments below, and let me know what some of your favorite movies are from that year. I always love interacting with you guys and hearing from you guys, so make sure you leave me some feedback in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.